I just have a weird, floppy voice box.
I thought you took sandpaper and kind of...
I can probably sing bass baritone to first tenor.
That's right, because you are a singer.
Yeah, I've done a lot of musical theater, and I've been in bands and stuff, you know. I was just a performer. I can't not.
In Texas, right?
Oh, no, this has all been in Washington State.
Oh, Washington State, okay.
Yeah, I grew up in Texas, deep East Texas, in the middle of nowhere. My graduating class had 30 people in it, and that was a big class for that school. And then the Navy moved me to Washington State in 1982, and I just stayed.
Oh, well, thank you for your service.
Well, thank you. You're welcome. I had fun. Yeah. I was on submarines, so I had a ball. I should have stayed in.
Very, very cool. So you said you were in a band. What kind of music did you play?
It's been all rock bands.
All rock bands.
Yeah, some of them, a couple of them covers, but I had one good band that was originals, and we recorded what we now call a 12-song souvenir because the producer that we had kind of flaked on us, and he was severely ADD. And he was like, I'm going to take this, we're going to get it finished, we're going to shop it, I'm going to get you guys a showcase at the Troubadour, and this is going to be great. And then his wife divorced him, he went crackers, and he sold his studio, married some singer, I don't know who she was, she paid off his debts from the divorce, and he disappeared. And I was like, all right, well, we got the masters anyway. So, and now the music that was back in the 90s, so it's kind of dated now.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry I went on so long. That was weird.
No worries. Now, Charles, you have a theatrical background?
Yes, I do.
A Shakespearean actor?
Yes, I do. Yes, verily.
Yeah, I started out in theater. I was not going to be an actor at all. Then all of a sudden I quit UC Berkeley, where I couldn't get the classes that I wanted with the professor that I wanted. And sure enough, a friend of mine said, come and take an acting class with me. Les, there's no way I would ever stand in public. I could never speak. I was the type of guy, I was so chronically shy, I would hide. Like, I could be on this stage and you wouldn't know I was here. You know, and I don't know how I do know how he convinced me. He said, the student cafeteria is training future chefs of America, and, you know, we can have lunch and then go to the class. And I said, food? Where, that just sounds lovely. And you know, and then he tricked me, and I had to do a monologue, and I got up there, I shook like a leaf, I did my monologue, I was petrified to death, but the wonderful key, two things happened. One, when I finished, I was sweating. My subtext of the thing was, you're gonna die, this is terrible. You know, and I didn't know what I was saying, but it was like one of those terrible monologues. And when I finished, people went, yay, hey, how come you're the only person that wasn't nervous? To which I said, what? You know? So that kind of made me go, oh, maybe this is more fun than I thought. And then I managed to fail miserably to get Oberon in Midsummer Night's Dream. And I knew I was the best. And that wonderful element of total flat-on-your-face failure is what inspired me to become an actor.
Well,
so if you're chronically shy, if you are terrified of failure, know that it's okay. You'll still come out all right in the end.
It's true. I mean, you know, I actually am in performance as well, and I was terribly shy. I was actually voted my shyest in the high school yearbook at the end.
Yep.
And acting is a great catharsis because you're not you. You're somebody else, and you get to emote as someone else. And whatever you do on stage, and I didn't mess up. It was that character over there. You know, it was Happy and Salesman or something like that. You know.
I was class wit.
Class wit.
Yeah, in my senior year, they voted me class wit with Rosie Lacey. She was the female half of that, so. I've always been stupid and kind of a show-off. So, but you're talking about nervous with auditions and things like that. The first a serious band that I auditioned for, I didn't know the lyric to the song. And I think it was Sweet Child of Mine, Guns N' Roses.
Oh, yeah.
And I laugh to this day because I was holding a piece of paper with the lyrics on it, and you could hear it through the PA in their practice room. You could hear the paper going... And I stunk. I stunk so bad.
Oh, no.
The band guy goes, all right, well, go and study this and study this and study this and come back in a couple of days. And I was like, all right. And I did. I practiced those songs, I tore them up, and I was in that band for a while. So, but be prepared, you know, be thick-skinned. if you're gonna be in
Yeah.
performance, because there's a lot of no's.
There's a lot of no's, a lot of rejection. But the main thing in life is, to me, is like, do what you love to do. Find out what gives you joy and happiness and fun. If it's becoming a voiceover actor or a film actor or a writer or director, pursue it because you love it, because life is so short, you know, and it happens so fast. So you should do what you love to do, you know, and have fun doing it, you know. When you bring smiles to people's faces by doing what you do, whether that's making electrical outlets so you can make toast in the morning, or driving a truck, or doing video game voices, it's all about your fulfilling your own love and your own happiness. Because I really think that when you're happy doing what you do, you bring happiness into the world. I know that when you're not, the opposite happens. So have fun.
Be happy with what you do. Never work a day in your life.
Yeah. That's right. And you know, life is kind of hard in a way, isn't it? You know, it's wonderful and hard, but it's hard in that every single person in the universe goes through the same terrible fears and anxieties. We all have the same loves and happiness and hopes. We all experience loss. And I think that's what always makes me feel about humanity. Like, there's so much that bounds us together or binds us together that's so much more important than things that make us different, like skin color or where you're from or what religion or what your background or credo is or sexuality or anything. It's like what brings us together is that we're all human beings that have the same shared experience. And the wonder of being an actor is you get to explore those emotions and those feelings. And so you start learning how to have more and more, and this is, I think, the most important thing in our lives, is compassion with ourselves.
Very deep.
It's very well said. Yeah.
Very well said.
I'm just sitting here going, wow.
It's the philosophy of Mario. I love it.
It is.
I absolutely love it.
You know, really, when you're your own best friend, and that's the hardest thing to do, because nobody would dare speak to you the way you speak to yourself. But we all do that with this harsh, cruel, mean criticism. But you know, when you can shut that ego up and start being your own best friend, and that's a way to shut it up, is being your own best friend, knowing yourself, caring for yourself, loving yourself, and doing, like, what would I say to this person, to me, if I was somebody over there and I just made a mistake? Well, it wouldn't be, you idiot, how could you do that? It would be like, don't worry, you'll be all right. You learn from it, and next time you won't do that. So if you start giving yourself that same positive messaging, eventually you really become your own best friend. And then you can progress to that place of really having what it is you want in life, whether it's making toast or video games.
That's really cool. Well, speaking of acting, of course, your acting led you to crashing a certain audition.
I did. I was doing what actors do, sitting on the beach, reading a book. Sometimes I would golf, you know, and I was waiting for the pager to go off, and it did, and I'm like, oh boy, maybe we'll have dinner now. It's a friend of mine, and he said, go crash this audition. I said, there is no way I could ever crash an audition. I'm a professional actor. How humiliating. Where should I go? And I have no idea why, but I got off that beach, I went and crashed this audition, and I got the door. I met the guy as he was walking out the door with a cameraman behind him, and I said, can I read for this? And he goes, yeah, all right, come on in. You're an Italian plumber from Brooklyn for this company called Nintendo. You're gonna be a real-time animation thing, so you're gonna talk to people all day long. It's this big, giant system. We have no idea if it's gonna work or not, but if it doesn't work, I'm not gonna pay you to drink coffee all day. So make up a voice, make up a video game, start talking, and whenever you run out of things to say, that's your audition. And I'm the kind of brat that goes, until I run out of things to say.
Big mistake.
Okay. And I thought, but Italian plumber from Brooklyn, you know, get out of my face. I work it here. Don't bother me. And I thought, oh gosh, doing that for 8 hours, talking to people on an improv, would be like really rotten. And I had played Gremio in Taming of the Shrew. That's my Shakespeare. Nice Italian guy, talk like this. And I make him younger, have some fun. And I heard action. I said, hello, I'm a Mario. Let's make a pizza pie together. Because it went back to my food orientation. And so I started making up things, this whole game about chasing each other with food. And I never stopped until I heard, stop talking.
You got the job. You got the job.
There's no more tape. Thank you. We'll be in touch. And I really thought that was the end of it. So I went back to the beach, saw the sunset. He got on the phone. He said, I found our Mario. I got him. And mine was the only tape that they sent. Wow. And that was 29 years ago.
Wow.
Hard to believe. I'm only 32.
Yeah.
You don't look a day over 18. Not a day.
Faulty math.
How did you get your job?
Oh, boy, I used to be a propane service tech for Suburban Propane, and I sold propane and propane accessories.
And this was in Texas?
No.
Oh,
this is
okay,
in
because I was
Washington.
going to say, that would be really ironic.
Yeah, I was working with my service manager on Bainbridge Island, which is across the sound from Seattle. And we were working at this big house, this nice lady. I was talking I was talking to my service partner about these little one-liners that I was doing for this Canadian guy, and he was just paying me on PayPal, the early days of PayPal, and it was like $8 a pop to do these things. I was doing impersonations. You know, it was like, "Hey, Scoob, answer the phone, man." You know, and $8. Thanks. Now I'm thinking I'm a big-time voice actor. So I'm just talking about that. And the lady overhears us talking about it. She said, "So you do voice work?" And I said, "I'm trying to get going." And she said, "Do you have a demo?" And I said, "Yeah, I put something up on my brand new website. You know, in 2001, if you had your own website, you know, you were doing pretty cool." I thought, I'm on my way. And so I gave her the address. And she listened to it. She had her 14-year-old son listen to it. And the stuff was pretty well produced by a voice actor in Seattle. He also was teaching a class that I went to. And she passed it on to Wendy Wills at Bad Animals, and she started sending me auditions. The first auditions I got were for Sly Cooper 3. And yeah, but guess what? I didn't get any of them. I auditioned for about 3 of those characters and didn't get any of that. You never hear back from them. You just go, well, that was it. She sends me the Bowser thing. And I'm like, I got no Bowser in me. And it was the reference tracks were, I think, from Sunshine, I think.
Oh boy.
And I was like, all right, well, I didn't even know he was talking, but he was talking. So I did the same things, only my Bowser, instead of sounding like he was just grumpy, sounded more, you know, like I do now, you know. So 2 weeks, I think, went by. I sent off the thing. I did this thing and standing in the dining room. I recorded this thing and sent it to her. And 2 or 3 weeks went by, and I got an email that said, "Congratulations, you got this job." And I was, what? So that was it. I've been Bowser ever since. It's been, for me, only 14 years.
That's so great, though.
Or it's coming up on 14, so.
Wow.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Isn't that great?
That's very cool.
And it really confirms for me, you can do anything you want in life. You just, you know, and magic really does happen. You just have to be open for it, open to it, you know.
Be a lightning rod. Get struck by lightning.
Yes, yeah.
Struck
really.
by a fireball, you know.
Now, Charles, you did some voice work for Nintendo before Mario, right? Did you?
Yeah,
do
I did a Super Punch Out,
Yeah.
and then yeah, that was the first. I was doing Mario in real time, and I was in Chicago doing CES. I think it was probably 1992 or 3, and I got a call from Phil. He said, "Hey, I want you to do some voice. Can you do something before you go in and do the Mario stuff?" I said, "Sure." I went to this studio, and I think I did 14 voices in Super Punch Out.
Wow, that's fun.
That was really fun. And then I was doing, you know, I did a lot of Star Wars games early on and things like that. Yeah, I think I've done, you know, it's a great thing. Jack Nicholson said, it took me 20 years to make it overnight, you know, when he got his Academy Award. And you just, as an actor, you just work and 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 work. And all of a sudden someone goes, ba-ding, you know, and there you are doing that changes your life, your destiny, everything just fits together to make that happen.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really great.
And you're also fluent in French and Spanish?
French and Spanish. I lived in Spain and France when I was growing up. I also lived in England. Yeah.
But not Italian.
I speak Italian, but not well. Not well enough to, like, say I speak Italian, you know.
Was that before or after Mario?
After Mario.
After Mario,
Yeah.
okay. Kind of felt a little
Yeah,
obligated.
I also love opera, so I thought, learn Italian, then you can understand what's going on in the opera better.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but you like Italian.
La Boheme, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, isn't it? It's beautiful, isn't it?
Love that.
UC Beerling. That's the guy. I was trying to think about that the last time we were talking. UC Beerling was just an amazing tenor, and just
It's a
yeah,
good show.
yeah, it's a great show.
And Kenny's got a great singing voice too. Yesterday at the Voice 101 panel, he belted out a little bit, and it was lovely. It was like, oh my gosh, Bowser! Who would have thought Bowser's so melodic with his vocal cords like that?
Yeah, I forgot about that. Because I think that was on one of my digressions.
Yeah, but it was
I
so
digress a
out
lot.
there. It's like out of nowhere. You know.
Yeah, I think that was because I was talking about the session for 3D World, or maybe it was not Galaxy. Maybe it was Odyssey.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was Odyssey. I was doing
Yeah.
Evita. I was in a production of Evita, and I have to do actually 2 Bowser sessions, and I'm singing Magaldi. You know, I'm Agustin Magaldi. You know, the tango singer, and record, Bowser, voice. I go to the theater. I'm like, well, here goes nothing. You know, walk out on stage and. On this night of 1,000 stars, you know. So I thought I'd let you guys have that again,
Right?
kind of the show off in me. You know? But yeah, I made it through all 3 shows that weekend, and then went back on Monday and did some more Bowserese. Oh, by the way, which is the only other language I speak. English and Bowserese.
Perfect.
Well, speaking of English, if anyone has any questions, go ahead and queue up right over here.